future is waiting, Mary, at the end of a ribbon road, under a swinging sign, across the darkening moors. A star gleams wet on lean chimneys, crowning the skyline like gallows. No one stops at Jamaica Inn. No one stops.
Dear news. I am truly sorry for my sister's passing. Though I haven't seen her or you for some time, I shall miss her sorely. Of course you must come to us as she wished, but there have been changes. I no longer live in Bodmin, but nearly 12 miles outside on the road to Launceston. It's a wild and lonely spot, and I shall be glad of your company winter time.
So Mary Yellan is northward bound, leaving Helford Helston, then to Truro town, out onto the high road, with the wind blowing hard, and one by one the passengers leave the girder her fate at the end of the road. For no one stops at Jamaica Inn. No one stops.
Your uncle, and he does not object. He says, if you are quiet-spoken and not a talker, and will give help when needed, he will expect your help in the bar in return for your board and lodging.
The lights behind you fade, like a shoreline getting fainter as the spray hides the brightness. Glimmer, flicker, and they're gone. Ahead lies miles of darkness across moorlands bleak and cheerless. Not a cottage, nor a helmet, nor a hope for a welcome home.
You see, your uncle is the landlord of Jamaica Inn.
Jamaica Inn. So I've arrived.
Who is it? What do you want here? Oh, it's you, is it? So, you've come to us after all.
Are you my uncle?
The same. I bid you welcome to Jamaica Inn. So, you are Mary Yellan, and you've come all this way to look after your Uncle Joss. I call it very handsome of you.
Where is my Aunt Patience? Is she not expecting me then?
Oh, yes. She's been all over Twitter since you got your letter.
Is she well?
You shall see for yourself, Patience. She's getting herself up in your honour, I'll be bound, Patience. Here's your niece arrived and asking for you.
Aunt Patience?
Have you really come? It is my niece Mary Yellan, isn't it? My dead sister's child.
Dear Aunt Patience, I'm glad to see you again. So many long years since you came to us at Helford.
Stop that now! What sort of a welcome is this?
You look so like her. I could be young with her again, looking at you now.
Don't start on. Can't you see the girl wants her supper? Get her some bacon and a drink. I'll take this to your room, Patience. You've no need to cry now, have you? Melly's here now. We'll all like that. Are you tame or do you bite?
You mustn't mind your Uncle Joss.
No.
He has his ways and strangers don't understand him at first. It's all bluster. He's a very good husband to me rarely. You warm yourself by the fire there. Pete throws out a good heat if you get close enough. You'll soon come to like your Uncle Joss and fit into his ways. There's no one hereabouts will say a word against Joss Merlin.
I'm sure.
It's not always as quiet as this. The coaches pass every day, and the gentry are most civil to us, most civil.
Really, that's good.
Why, a neighbour was in only yesterday, and I made him a cake to take home. Mrs. Merlin, he said, you're the only woman in Cornwall who can bake a cake. Those were his very words. Now, there's the bread, cheese.
Really, I'm not that hungry.
And even the squire himself. He passed me on the road the other day. Tuesday it was. And he took off his hat. Good morning, madam, he said. And he bowed to me from his horse.
And Patience.
Then out comes Joss from the stable. How's life, Mr. Bassett, he says. As large as yourself, Joss, answers the squire. And they both fell to laughing.
So the hens are clacking already. I've noticed your tears soon stop if you've had a chance of talking. That's how it is, eh? Eh, Mary?
I was only telling Mary.
Gobble, 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 like a turkey hen. Do you think your precious niece believes a word you say? You need food. I can see that. There, sit, eat. Leave it. Your aunt will clear up the mess. It won't be for the first time. What'll you drink? Brandy, wine, or ale? You may starve here, but you won't go thirsty.
I'll have a water if I may. I'm not used to drinking spirits.
Well, it's your loss, Patience. Ditch me a bottle of brandy. I have a thirst on me that all the waters of Dosemary wouldn't slake. You've a pretty enough paw for one who's worked on a farm. If there's one thing that makes a man sick, it's to have his ale pulled out by an ugly hand. Not that my customers are over particular. What are you staring at?
Nothing.
Never seen a man take a drink before?
Of course, we have it in at Helford, a cosy, welcoming sort of place.
You're not in Helford now. That's a long way away.
Yes.
I'll tell you what it is, Mary Yellan. I'm master in this house, and I'll have you know it. You'll do as you're told, and you'll help in the house and serve my customers. I'll not lay a finger on you. But, by God, if you open your mouth and squawk, I'll break you until you eat it out of my hand, the same as your aunt yonder. Understand?
I understand you very well.
Good.
I'll do my work about the house and you'll have no cause to grumble. But if you hurt my Aunt Patience in any way, I'll leave Jamaica Inn straight away, and I'll find the magistrate and bring him here, and then have the law on you. And then try and break me if you will.
Very prettily put indeed. Now we just know what sort of lodger we have. Scratch her, and she knows her claws all right, my dear. You and I are more akin than I thought. If we are going to play, we'll play together. I may have work for you at Jamaica one day. Man's work.
I worked our farm hard as any man.
Work where you play with life and death, Mary Yellan.
Oh, Joss. Oh, please don't.
You can always leave, Patience. Go on, off you go.
I don't want to.
Your niece here thinks you do.
I never said that.
I don't want to go away, Joss. I want to stay here with you.
It's all right, he's not sending you anywhere.
Just so we all understand each other. Now off to bed with you, Patience. Your wailing's giving me a headache.
I'm sorry, Joss.
Just go. The girl will stay with me instead. She's got spirit. My one weakness is days go by and I don't touch more than a drop. And then I'll feel the thirst come on me and I feel a king again, Mary. I feel I've got the strings of the world between my two fingers. Then I start to talk. So I shut myself in my room and shout my secrets into my pillow. Your aunt turns the key on me. And when I'm sober, I hammer on the door and she lets me out. There's no one knows but as she said and now I've told you.
And why is that?
'Cause I'm already a little drunk and I can't hold my tongue. But I've not told you all, Mary Yellan. Oh no, I've got some sense and cunning left. If you want to know any more, you can ask your aunt. She'll pull you a tale. I heard her blabbering tonight telling you we kept fine company here. It's all lies. The wider berth the gentry give to me, the better pleased I am. As for the rest, they're all afraid of me, the whole damn lot of them. I tell you, if I'd had learning, I'd have walked the breadth of England beside King George himself. It's a drink that's been against me. Go up to bed, Mary. You'll find your room over the porch. And there'll be nights sometimes when you hear the wheels stop outside Jamaica Inn. And when that happens, you'll stay in your bed, Mary Yellan, and cover your head with the blankets. Do you understand?
Yes, Uncle.
Very well. Now get out.
I want to go home.
This is home now.
It's so cold.
Patience has warmed the bed.
It's filthy and miserable. What kind of place is this? Inns are supposed to be welcoming places. The other guest rooms full of rubbish. This room's damp. What's that?
It's coming from outside. Be brave. Come to the window.
There's nothing there but mist.
It's only the side. Swinging in the wind, broken on its hinges. Jamaica Inn.
I'm not staying here. I can't. He'll come for me in my dreams with those horrible, delicate fingers. I have to get out of here while I can.
If he's awake downstairs, he'll hear you.
I'll climb from the window onto the porch roof.
And then?
Then I'll jump.
You must.
And Patience? And Patience, are you all right?
It was just a bad dream, Mary. Go back to bed.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Mary,
Yes, Aunt Patience.
I'm so glad you're here.
This is a desolate country. Even the sheep are wild and ragged. Imagine growing up here.
You're thinking of your Uncle Joss?
He was a child once, I suppose his mother loved him.
I'll warrant he'd not been short of a woman's love since either.
He takes a great fancy to himself, that's for certain. Poor Aunt Patience. She's well be living one of these wild rams for all the care he gives her.
Bred wild, you stay wild. He bothers you.
Not at all. There's an east wind blowing straight from the coast, sharp enough to cut your heart to ribbons. You'd not last long on these moors alone.
You've got roses in your cheeks.
I've been exploring.
You don't want to do too much of that. I found you an egg for your breakfast.
You're spoiling me.
I know. And while your uncle's away, things will be different now you're here.
When do you expect him back?
He makes his own time.
Why is my uncle the landlord of Jamaica Inn?
This is the main road from the south. The coaches pass here twice a week.
Yes, Aunt, but why didn't they stop at Jamaica?
Your Uncle Joss doesn't encourage folk to stay. Why, in a lonely spot like this, we might be murdered in our beds.
That's nonsense. What's the use of an inn that can't give an honest traveller a bed for the night? And how do you live in it if you have no custom?
We have custom.
The driver on the coach told me respectable people didn't come to Jamaica anymore. He said they were afraid.
Your Uncle Joss has a strong temper. He won't have folk interfering with him.
Why should anyone interfere with a landlord of an inn who goes about his rightful business? Hot temper doesn't scare people away. It's no excuse. Why'd you come here in the first place? You were from Bodmin when you married.
Your uncle wanted to settle down.
He couldn't have chosen much worse, could he?
Enough now. No more questions.
Just one more, then I'll stop. That room along the passage, past the kitchen, one of the bars. What's in it?
I said enough. Why must you keep on and on?
I'm sorry. Don't be angry with me, please. Forget what I said.
There's things that happen at Jamaica, Mary, that I've never dared to breathe. Your Uncle Joss mixes with strange men who follow a strange trade. Sometimes they come by night, and he takes them along the passage to the room with the locked door.
What's in there?
He's back. Promise me if you hear them, you'll not question me, nor him, nor anyone. Promise me, Mary.
I promise.
Well, aren't you pleased to see me?
I hope you had a pleasant journey, Uncle.
Pleasant be damned. There was money in it, and that's all I care. I want you to have gabbled yourselves hoarse in my absence.
We shared happy memories of my mother and of Helford. It's calm there with the river meandering towards the sea and...
Well, that's all in the past now. If such a perfect place ever existed.
Of course it did. And compared to these wild and barren moors, it's much more hospitable.
You've been exploring then?
I've been out walking, yes. Now I'm tired.
Here, no skulking up there this evening. Don't you know what day of the week it is?
It's Saturday.
Exactly. There'll be company tonight at Jamaica Inn. Such company I warrant you've never seen the like of before. Don't look so worried, maid. Uncle Joss will be there beside you.
Shrubs of broom go black and twisted as if devil's fingers in the wind that never ceases, like a chorus from the dead. What's the point of an inn where no coaches stop? What's the point of a stable where no horses rest? What's the point of a window that are barred? What's the point of an inn that nobody stays? Those who live there, it said, would grow dark and twisted and tortured too, like the wind that never ceases, like a chorus from the dead, with the marshlands for their pillows and cold granite as their mattress, and the wind that never ceases, like a chorus from the dead.
Who are these people?
Tramps, vagrants, poachers, and horse thieves. I'll introduce you, shall I?
No, please. I'm happy back here alone and observed.
Or they'll observe you all right. Young wench like yourself, and they'll do more than that, given half a chance.
What's he called?
The one there was a shepherd till he fired his master's lick. Him yonder was a cobbler run out of Devon for thievery. Oh, there's tales to tell here, Mary.
Landlord's been busy abroad.
Harry the pedlar. A more singular case of double-dealing lechery you'd never hope to find this side of the Tama.
What's this then, Joss Merlin? A barmaid at Jamaica Inn? Things are looking up. She's a pretty piece.
Gentlemen all, my niece. Alright, let's be having some sport. Fill the glasses, Mary. These are red-blooded men with a thirst on them that could drink the marshes dry. Are you deaf as well as stupid, pedlar?
Just a bit of fun, Joss Merlin.
Try singing, Harry, for fun.
There was a cobbler from Norcastle Fair who'd steal the boots off your feet. He'd sell you his mother, his daughter, his wife, his poison another man's meat. There was a fool from Dosmery come out of one razor glass, had a birthmark stretched from his head to his chin, and a face like a chicken's ass. There was a pedlar from Toro Town. He knew himself for a wit. He lived in a hovel with a pig for a wife, and each night they rutted in shit.
You'll have to attend to your friends yourself. I'm going upstairs to my room.
Think yourself too good for us?
It would not be hard.
You've had an easy time behind the bar, and you out to go down on your knees and thank me for it, because you're my niece. They've let you alone, my dear.
I want to leave now.
Get out then. It's close on midnight anyway. Your aunt's been in bed an hour with a blanket drawn over her head. You'll lock your door tonight, Mary, and pull down your blind. All right. Keep your mouth shut, and I'll treat you like a lamb.
Wake up, Mary. Come to the window.
What are all those wagons at the yard for?
Why, the men pointing at the sky as if they're frightened.
It's the moonlight. Look, the horses are steaming. They must have ridden over a great distance.
From the coast, perhaps?
Smugglers. But there are so many of them. In Helford sometimes there'll be a bottle of brandy passed around or some baccy for a pipe. But nothing like this. There must be 15, 20 wagons. For surely a place like Jamaica would have been suspected long ago. So why doesn't the magistrate put a stop to this trade?
I'll wager he's bullied them all.
Oh, if only I were a man, I'd go down there now.
You're twice your age. He's 8 times your strength, and all you have is
brains.
Remember what you did to give yourself courage when that bull chased you at Menniken?
Oh yes, goddamn blasted bastard hellfire sheep shedding buttery varmint. Sorry, there. I'll not show fear before Joss Merlin or any man. And to prove it, I'll go down now in the dark and see what I can find. 1, 2, creak, 4, 5, 6, 7, creak, 9, 10, 11, creak.
I'll not be a party to it. I've risked swinging before, and I'm not afraid of my neck. Just my conscience.
Be damned to your blasted conscience. There's no going back on it now.
You'll go to hell, Joss Merlin, and you know it as well as I do.
I've been doubtful of you from the first, with your gentleman's airs and your clean cuffs. And by God, I've proved myself right, Harry. Bolt the door and put the bar closet.
Shall I tickle him up like silly Sam? You're a very little body with his fine clothes. I could do with his watch and chain too.
Shut your mouth, Harry! Just stand by the door and prick him with your knife if he tries to pass you.
Now look here.
Now you look my way, Mr. Lawyer Clerk, or whatever you were in London town. You've made a fool of yourself tonight, but you're not going to make one of me. Would you like to walk out of that door and get on your horse and be away to Bodmin?
I give you my word.
Yes, and by 9 in the morning you'd have every magistrate in the country at Jamaica Inn.
Do your devil's work if you must, and I'll not inform on you, but I'll not join you either. And there's my last word.
Last word, eh?
Then up to your left in the room above, the creaking of a board, silence, and then the creaking again. Footsteps overhead, with patients asleep and just downstairs. Whoever is in must be known, that what you've heard, that what you've seen, crouched on the stairs alone.
Put him in the bar, Harry, then take his horse and cast it loose the other side of Camelford. I'll handle this alone. Now go!
How many others are hiding here? You strain your ears, a tick of a clock. It's the only sound. Not a crack of light escapes from under the door where the stranger's tied. Fetch! Help Mary Yellan now. But where would you go? And who would hear the girl from Jamaica Inn?
It's your judgment now, not mine. It's for you to say the word. Very well. I'll do it.
He's coming back. I have to go and look.
It's not safe.
I can't shut my eyes. What's he going to do? I have to see.
You must not faint. The silent ways, the door of the bar is shut. The gasp for his breath, the last of his life. You have to be brave right now. The night birds call across the moors. Through the keyhole comes a draught of night air sharp and cold fresh. Lift the latch to see. Nothing. And the next day dawns as if nothing has passed, and except on the landing outside, a button lies before her, ornate and touched with gold. The wearer heard, the wearer saw, crouched on the stairs alone.
There's a storm doing how cats to get wet.
When will you?
Back when I'm ready.
I'm patient. Listen to me. We have to get away from here.
Not today, dear.
Yes, today. Now, before he comes back. We may not have long. We can walk towards Launceston.
There's floors to watch and cakes to bake in case there's company come calling.
Stop it. You know no one comes here. No one that's fit to call your company.
Oh, I think you're mistaken. Why, only the other day, a neighbour said of my baking, Mrs. Merlin, nobody can bake a cake like you.
Last night a man was murdered here.
You must have been dreaming. I don't dream.
Will you not listen to me? You can't stay here.
This is my home. Joss is my husband. I do annoy him, I know. But with you here, I won't be so bad.
Then you won't come.
He'd find us, Mary. It's better to stay here.
Better?
You look so like my dear sister. I should perhaps not have agreed to your coming here. But she wanted it, and
What?
I wanted you, like a daughter. Silly old woman.
Very well. We'll stay. For the moment.
You're a good girl.
I'm a fool.
In time she may trust you enough to go elsewhere. Be patient.
I think my uncle may have dropped this. I should take such good care of him.
Oh, no, that's not his.
You don't recognise it.
He'd never wear such a fancy thing. Where are you going?
To see if I can achieve the impossible and scrub this place clean.
My sister's child.
Yes, well, I'll start with the bar. What do you think you're doing? You have no right to walk in here and help yourself.
Since when have they had a barmaid at Jamaica Inn?
None of your business.
Is this how they train you to serve customers? Don't think much of their choice.
I'll tell Mr. Merlin we're in the bar and he can serve you himself if he has the mind.
Oh, don't worry, Joss. He'll be like a bear with a sore head this time of day. Tell me though, what's happened to his wife? Has he turned her out to make room for you?
Mrs. Merlin's in the back. If you want to see, you can walk out and around. If you don't, you can put your money on the counter and go away.
What do you do with poor patients of an evening? Turn her out on the floor, or you just sleep all three abreast?
Patience is my aunt. Her name is Mary Yellan, and that's the door behind you.
I thought I'd warned you to keep your mouth shut.
All right, Joss, don't beat her. She turned me out and refused to serve me. Sounds like your training.
What do you want? I can't buy a horse from you if that's what you're after. Things are going badly, and I'm poor as a field mouse after a wet harvest.
You've got a clean floor at least. The maid's done you some good.
Is that what you've come for? Gossip?
It's always good to see who's at residence at Jamaica Inn.
Well, now you've seen me and her. On your way.
Good to see you too, brother Joss. Let's hope business looks up for you.
Brother,
Don't let him interfere with your work.
you Merlins are all alike, aren't you?
Handsome devils, you mean?
More your manners.
We're what life made us.
What a shame. A waste and a pity.
Remember, I gave you house room.
And I'm here to be with my aunt.
More fool you. You missed a patch.
Go away.
I need you to do something. Please, forgive me. I was rude to you just now. I thought Joss had found you in one of the towns and brought you back to be his fancy lady.
I should have thought anyone with eyes in his head could see I was farm bred.
Oh, I don't know. Put you in a fine gown and a pair of high-heeled shoes. Stick a comb in your hair. I dare say you'd pass for a lady.
Wouldn't want to. I'd rather wear my own clothes and feel like myself.
You'd do a lot worse than that. Don't go. What are you doing here?
My mother died some weeks ago and I came here to be with my aunt Patience.
She'll not be staying in Jamaica.
I hope not. But I can't go unless I take my aunt with me. What do you do for a livelihood then?
I'm a horse thief.
Oh,
Listen to me. Why don't you run away? Out on the road to Bodmin, all right?
He's just Merlin's brother.
I don't need any help. I can look after myself.
My cottage is on the other side of Trethor Marsh. I should be there until spring, anyway. Good day to you.
What are you thinking of, dear?
Just home.
I'll bake you a cake. Do you know what a neighbour said to me only the other day?
Yes, Aunt.
That's it. Shut the door. He said, Mrs. Merlin, you're the only woman in Cornwall who can bake a cake. Don't cry. You've got me now. I'll take care of you.
The wagons have come again, ghostly in the dark like hearses, taking away their plunder, their voices soft and low. A stern business, and a bloody business, a family business.
Who should I send to for help? I have no one to trust.
You trust Jim for a friend?
It could have been a coincidence his arriving in the morning and the convoy coming to take away the spoils the same night. Or he could have been a messenger sent to tell his brother to expect the wagons and make ready.
He could.
I'd be a fool to trust him. And Merlin.
Indeed. Handsome, though.
Don't want to think of it any more. There's a crunch of frost underfoot. The sun shines and Uncle Joss is away from home.
Mary, come inside. He's never been before. He's heard something. What are we going to say?
I can't understand a word you're saying. For mercy's sake, breathe. That's it. Now, tell me who is here.
It's Mr. Bassett, the squire. I saw him from the parlour window. He's come on horseback and another gentleman with him. Oh, my dear, what are we going to do?
Open up in there. Let's open up.
If Mr. Bassett asks what you know, you won't answer him, will you?
And Patience, now is our chance. If we're to explain to him
He's the magistrate.
that we had no part in this, that we were innocent.
I know. I always have known.
What?
If anything happened to Joss, I would kill myself.
And Patience?
I mean it.
Very well. Say Uncle Joss is away from home and you don't know anything. I'll say nothing.
You take your time in here, don't you? Is the landlord at home?
If you please, Mr. Bassett, my husband is away from home, and I don't know when he'll return.
Oh, is he? I warn you, I won't stand for having all my land hereabouts made of firewood for everything that's damnable and dishonest round the countryside.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean, Mr. Bassett. We live very quietly here.
Oh, come. A house can get a bad name with a reason, Miss Merlin. And Jamaica Inn stinks from here to the coast. And now I'll have you show me what's in the barred room. I can see the window from the yard.
Oh, but you can't.
I can. I'm a magistrate and I have a warrant.
I'm very sorry, sir, but if you mean the old lumber room at the end of the passage, I'm afraid the door is locked. My uncle always keeps the key and I don't know where he puts it.
What about you, Miss Merlin? You know where your husband keeps his keys? Well, that's easily settled. We'll have the door down in no time.
Try not and tremble so. Anyone can see that you have something to hide. Your only chance is to pretend you don't mind unless you can see anything in the house for all you care.
Give me a candle as black as a pit in here. Well, it seems Mr. Josh Merlin has won this time.
What's there?
As if you didn't know. Nothing but a coil of rope. Very well. I'll accept myself beaten. This time. Have you ever looked into that barred room before today?
Never in my life.
And I suppose you have no idea why she keeps it all locked up.
None at all.
Don't you think yourself it's very peculiar to keep an inn on the King's Highway and then bolt and bar your house to every passerby?
My uncle is a very peculiar man.
He is indeed. In fact, he's so damned peculiar that half the people in the countryside would sleep easy in their beds until he's been hanged. You can tell him that from me.
I will, Mr. Bassett.
One other thing. Have you seen anything of your uncle's younger brother, Jem Merlin of Trethewey?
No, he never comes here.
Doesn't he? Well, that's all I want from you this morning. Day to you both.
Oh, come on. Mr. Bassett found the room. We can go brandy and there'll be something to cry about. As it is, you and Uncle Joseph scraped up out of it very well. And I'm one of you now. One of the company of Jamaica Inn. In a matter of minutes, I have life for both my uncle and his thieving brother. We'll probably hang side by side now. Something to look forward to. Until then, I shall occupy myself with washing out, doing the washing. Go on, shoo! Out of my way. Stupid creatures, pecking around the same patch of ground.
You've looked into the barred room and seen the coil of rope. There's no going back.
I know that.
So why did you lie to Chef Jem Merlin?
I have no idea. It's of no matter.
This is a grim business, a stern and bloody business, a family business.
You let Bassett come poking round my house?
He said he had the magistrate's warrant.
There's no such thing, you fools. How dare he? I'll teach him who's got the land of this county. I'll burn his house round his ears if he plays his tricks again. Get my coat. I must go out again. And no time to lose. You did well today, Mary. I'll not forget it. Stop that yawning, Patience.
You don't think I did it for you, do you?
I don't give a damn. The result's the same.
Be careful, Joss.
If I don't know my way through the marshes by now.
You surely don't mean to follow him.
I sure do. I want to know where he's going to see. And yes, I'll be careful.
Joss strodes off past Coda Hall, turns to the west and begins to climb. You must keep him in sight until you can see what he means to do and if he means to flee. Slipping and stumbling on moss and stone over granite and heather, you climb alone. Hill sheep run startled, screaming, with a cry that will echo in your dreams. As you reach the summit, a thin white mist rises up from the moors, and the sun goes in. In the gathering dusk, the world is grey, and Uncle Joss has vanished away. You'll never find him now. Darkness comes swift and sudden as death. You fight at the panic which tears your chest, and then, at the crossroads, out of the night comes a rider, and the horse, like a bird in flight.
Whoa there!
What in the world are you doing out here alone? Are you in trouble?
I'm miles from home. I'm afraid I'm lost. Hopelessly.
Steady now. Where are you making for?
I live on the road to Launceston.
It's a long road. Whereabouts?
If you could just point me in the right direction, I can make my own way.
I can't help you if I don't know where you live.
I live at Jamaica Inn.
Then you've come a long way out of your road, I'm afraid. You're not fit to walk another step. Will you give me your hand, and I'll help you to mount? We're not far from the village. Your shoes are soaking wet, and so's the hem of your gown. You shall come home with me, and dry those things and rest a while, and have some supper, before I take you back myself to Jamaica Inn. How's that?
Thank you, but I don't know you.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Francis Davy, and I'm the vicar of Alton. Shall we go?
He doesn't look like a vicar.
Don't suppose he can help how he looks.
The vicar back home was never like this.
Thank you. I was very hungry.
My housekeeper was responsible. Hannah leaves supper ready before she goes home each afternoon. Are your feet unfrozen now?
I'm very dry. It's very peaceful here. Did you do that painting? I recognise the pool at Dosmery.
If you like pictures, you shall see something better. But first of all, I want you to drink this.
Thank you. I'm not used to being waited on.
Why did you wander on the moor tonight?
I'm in terrible trouble. Sometimes I think I shall go like my aunt and go out of my mind.
Tell me of your trouble.
I can't.
You are very young to bear such pain alone.
I'm sorry. I don't do this normally. Things aren't normal anymore.
No?
If only I could get my aunt away. But she won't leave, Uncle Joss, for all his treatment of it. Every night I go to bed wondering if I should wake up and hear the smugglers' wagons.
I see.
No, you don't. It's worse. Much worse. A man was killed that night.
What man?
I didn't see him, but I saw the rope hanging from the beam downstairs. I can't keep it inside any longer. I shouldn't have said it. If my uncle suspects half of what I've done tonight, he'll kill me. And you too.
Isn't your imagination running away with you, just a little?
You don't understand. He's a desperate man.
Men don't murder one another without reason.
Please, you must never know I've been here, or that I've met you even.
Maybe you'd better tell me the rest of your story. How long have you been at Jamaica Inn?
Not much over a month, but it seems like 20 years.
This is loneliness speaking.
I need a friend so badly.
But him, this young man with old man's hair and strange pale eyes.
Can't help it if he's a freak of nature. I mustn't think like that. Maybe he's lonely too. I have to tell someone. It's all true, I promise.
I believe you. But your story wouldn't go in a court of law. As for the smuggling, it's a scandal and an outrage, we all know. But it's rife all over the country, and half the magistrates do very well of it.
Magistrates? Like Squire Bassett?
Unless I'm much mistaken, he'll keep his visit to Jamaica Inn this morning very quiet. No man likes to look foolish.
So what will happen?
Bassett's visit will have scared your uncle. I'd guess there won't be any more wagons to Jamaica Inn for some time.
And that's the end of it.
I could see Mr. Bassett if you like, and put your story to him. But unless you can catch your uncle with the wagons in the yard, there's little chance of convicting him. And then again, if he were to be arrested, your aunt would be implicated.
No, that mustn't happen.
I don't see how it could be avoided.
What do you suggest I do then?
If I were you, I should play a waiting game. Keep a close watch on your uncle, and when the wagons do come again, tell me, and we can then decide together what's best to be done.
What about the stranger who disappeared?
It's quite possible he was never killed at all.
But I saw.
Forgive me, but all you saw was a piece of rope.
I heard my uncle threaten him.
My dear child, people threaten one another every day in the year, but they don't hang for it. Come, I'm your friend, and if you ever become worried or distressed in any way, I want you to come and tell me about it. Now, that's a bargain between us, isn't it?
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to drive you back to Jamaica Inn. The sky is ablaze with stars tonight. We'll have a fine journey.
I wish I could stay here. It reminds me of Helford.
You'll come to love the moors.
No.
For me, they have a fascination, unlike any other part of the country. Climb Rufter one morning before sunrise, and listen to the wind in the stones, the voices of those who came before us. You'll know what I mean then.
You're funny.
Yes.
Can you hear the bones singing the song of another age? Voices raised in darkened halls, a tale of pain and rage. Hear the murmur in the air, the whisper of the unrest, the trudge of feet on ancient moors, the denial of the blessed. The time has come, and since long gone, when out the mist of dawn, the druids have heaved their standing stones, a sign of the yet unborn. He's an owl of a man, a very moon-bleached man, not a man like any other.
There's a light on in the kitchen. That means my uncle is there. And Patience always goes early. Careful. Come back. He wakes and sees you.
There'll be no argument with him tonight. You can walk right past him and go upstairs to bed.
Are you sure?
Your uncle is so drunk he won't even see you.
Thank you.
Good night, Mary Yellan. Sleep well. If you are ever in trouble and need me, I shall be waiting for you at Altonham.
Away with you!
So you find yourself here at last?
I was just out walking. I didn't even know you lived here.
Really? So how's the landlord Jamaica Inn?
Drunk.
How long's it been lasted this time?
5 days.
They're here! They're here again!
There, Joss. Lie down. Patience is here. You'll be all right.
They come to me in the night. Don't let them come!
I won't, dear. It's daytime. You'll be safe here in the kitchen with me. See? You have a bed made up by the range. That's it.
Can I sleep then?
Of course you can, my lovely.
You want to watch him? When he comes to, that's when he's dangerous.
He'll not touch me. Besides, he's got other things to worry him.
Has anything happened at Jamaica?
Depends on how you look at it. We had Mr. Bassett from North Hill last week.
Oh,
Yes, after you as it happened.
and?
I told him I'd never set eyes on you.
Why did you lie to him?
Why? We have nothing to hide, have you?
Only that black pony you saw by the brook belongs to him. He was dappled grey last week, worth a small fortune to the squire. How much do you know?
I'd want to know why he's asking.
You must have a good view from the little room over the porch. Did they wake you up out of your beauty sleep?
How do you know it's my room?
What if it was him in the room beside yours the night of the murder?
What are you trying to make me tell you?
Damn it, Mary. You're not blind or deaf. Even a child would smell a rat if he lived a month at Jamaica Inn.
All I think about is persuading my aunt away from this place as soon as possible. As for your brother, his life of his own, and so is his business.
So smuggling doesn't appall you after all?
Nothing to do with me.
But supposing he's meddled in other things?
I don't know what you mean.
Perhaps not. But you'll come to know if you stay long enough. Why your aunt looks like a living ghost when the wind blows from northeast. Will you mind your own business then?
I must go now.
Don't turn your back on him.
I believe I've frightened you.
Not at all.
Prove it. Come with me to Launceston on Christmas Eve.
Why? What will you be doing there?
Selling Mr. Bassett's black pony for him.
Suppose you're caught. I don't want to go to prison with you.
No one's going to catch me. Go on. Take a risk, Mary. Don't you like excitement? Or do the breezes soft down Helford way?
Let me pass.
I can't help that I resemble my brother. Till Christmas Eve, then.
Who's there? Why don't you speak? Put away that knife! Put it away, I tell you!
Well, Joss, it's me.
Mary, where have they gone? Have you seen them?
You've made a mistake. There's no one here but me. And Patience is upstairs. Are you ill?
They can't scare me. Dead men don't harm the living. They're blotted out like a candle. That's it. isn't it, Mary?
Yes, Uncle.
The faces, like live things in the darkness. When I'm drunk, I see their white-green faces staring at me, with their eyes eaten by fish, and some of them are torn, with the flesh hanging on their bones in ribbons. There was a woman once, Mary. She was clinging to a raft, and she had a child in her arms, her hair streaming her back. She cried out to me to help her, and I smashed her in the face with a stone. She fell back, her hand beating the raft. She let go of the child, and I hit her again. I watched them drown in 4 feet of water. We're scared then. For the first time, we hadn't reckoned on the tide. In half an hour, they'd be walking dry shod on the sand. We'd had to pelt at them with stones, break their arms and legs, and they jammed there in front of us because they couldn't stand. Swarm of flies. They cling there for safety, shouting in terror at the sight of the surf. Just like the flies they are, spread out on the yards, little black dots of men. I've seen the ship break up beneath me, and the masts and yards snap like a thread. And there they'll be, flung into the sea to swim for their lives. But when they reach the shore, they're dead men, Mary, and they say nothing.
But you'll never learn to face the world by lying in your bed. You can claim it's not your business. Still the children cry and the women weep. If you stay alive, you're living in a world more than one. There's evil deeds by evil men, and something must be done. The face in the darkness will never go away. They'll haunt your dreams with lives they've lost and the words they'll never say. We've all been young and some grow old, and some never want to fight, but there comes a time when you have to choose. It's been 4 nights now since you've slept.
So, the dead, the lost and fair will do me good.
You're going to let us continue? Say nothing and it will?
He's not in charge. He hasn't the wits for something as large as this. The whole coast is theirs.
Another pulls the strings and he dances. The person in the room upstairs.
It must be.
Then you must.
What? Sacrifice my aunt? She wrote me of Joss.
Look into the glass.
I don't want to.
Look! Whose faces do you see there?
No!
This is your future, Mary. Your dreams will be haunted like hers. A woman with long, wet hair clinging to her face. A child with broken wrist. There, see them, under the water, looking up, stretching out their hands.
I just want to go to the fair for one day. Don't I deserve that? It is Christmas.
It is Jem Merlin, the landlord's brother.
I'm not afraid of him.
Maybe you should be. Maybe it was he who paced the night upstairs in the room.
He's just a horse thief.
Are you sure? It would be a waste and a shame to end up like Aunt Patience.
Happy Christmas to you.
That's very kind of you, but I'm afraid you wasted your money.
I'm used to it. You here early. Were you afraid I'd be gone without you?
I'd like to have a feel of the rains again.
You know what you're doing?
I drove my mother into Helston Market every week.
Give him his head. That's better. No light in your eyes. You're sick.
I've not been out of the house since I saw you last. I've stayed up in my room with my thoughts.
What's happened?
Nothing's happened. It's only myself that has changed.
Been no more visitors to the inn?
None that I know of.
And one in the room.
Been thinking about me by any chance?
Yes, once. I wondered who would hang first, you or my brother.
If Joss hangs, it'll be his own fault. Let me guess. Joss is recovering.
Joss has been dreaming.
What are you going to do about it?
You don't expect me to tell you, do you?
Why not? I hold no brief for Joss.
You are his brother. There are many gaps in this story, and you fit remarkably well into some of them.
You think I'd waste my time working for Joss?
There's profit enough to spare in his business, and dead men tell their stories.
Dead ships do, when they run ashore on a fair wind.
Didn't I warn you? He knows.
It's lights the vessels look for, Mary, when she's seeking harbour. You ever seen a moth flutter to a candle and singe his wings? A ship will do the same to a false light. May happen once, twice, 3 times perhaps, but the 4th time the whole country is up in arms and wants to know the reason why. My brother's lost his own rudder by now, and he's heading for the shore himself.
Are you keeping company?
I've never killed a man. Yet.
Maybe others do it for him.
Do you think I wreck ships, do you? And stand on the shore and watch men drown?
You haven't denied it.
If you believe that, why are you driving me today to Launceston?
He means to trap you.
For the sake of your bright eyes, Jem Merlin, I ride with you for no other reason.
Well done. There was never yet a man immune to flattery.
You believe in living dangerously?
Let him know you're not without a friend.
And tomorrow I should go to church at Altrincham. I know the vicar.
Far better you come and eat your Christmas dinner with me. I'll steal us a goose.
Do you respect nothing and nobody?
Welcome to Launceston Fair. You never opened your present. You're glad you came with me now, aren't you? Tell the truth.
I'm glad you've not been arrested yet.
Don't be prim. You were impressed. I could see it. Squire Bassett's pony sold back to the unsuspecting Mrs. Bassett. There's a beauty and a symmetry in that.
There's a cheek and a danger for sure.
Come, my pretties. Let the tipsy tell your fortunes.
Shall we?
Why not?
Beware of a dark stranger.
And for this you want money?
Laugh all you may. Doesn't do to tempt fate, missy.
Now me. Well, go on. What do you see there, oh wise one?
There's blood in your hands, young man. You'll kill a man one day.
See? What did I tell you on the way here? I'm innocent.
As yet.
Now you must believe me.
I believe we're going to be so.
Run onto the porch there. Give me your hand. Beware the dark stranger.
The square's emptied so quickly. All the colour gone. It's time before to returning.
If you don't want to ride in open traffic in this wind, it's coming from the coast. We'll be blown over the high ground. Looks like you'll have to spend the night together in Launceston.
Talking to me like this because I'm the barmaid at Jamaica Inn.
I like the look of you and the feel of you. That's enough for me. Stay with me tonight, Mary.
Go and fetch the pony. I'll wait for you here.
If I kissed you again, would you change your mind?
No.
God, you're hard as flint, Mary Yellan. All right, I'll take you home to your aunt. You stay here, I'll fetch the trap.
You want to stay?
No, I'll not end up like I'm patient, trailing like a ghost in the shadow of a master. I won't.
The rain's driven everyone else inside.
He'll come.
And then he'll ride you into the arms of risk. He loves danger.
He's a man.
So where is he?
Something's happened to him.
He's left you.
He must have been caught. Squire Bassett recognised his pony. I should have taken my chance and gone with him. What if they hang him?
This is madness. You can't walk across the moors. It's 11 dark miles to Jamaica Inn.
Stop! Please, stop! Oh, Mr. Davy, I'm so glad it's you.
Mary? What on earth are you doing alone in Launceston on Christmas Eve?
I want to go home.
You're soaked through.
I'm all right.
Give me your shawl and put this round you. You can change underneath. That's it. Let me take that for you. You'll catch your death if you stay in those wet things. Surely you weren't planning to walk home alone?
No, I was with a friend. There was some trouble with the pony and I couldn't find him.
I'd like a word with him, whoever he is, leaving you in this state.
It wasn't Jem's fault.
Jem Merlin?
He's dishonest and a thief, I know that. He told me as much at the beginnings. But beyond that...
Beyond? You mean the brother knows nothing of the landlord's trade by night?
He said that my uncle was running straight into the hands of the law, and that they would catch him before long. Surely wouldn't say that if he was one of them, would he?
Perhaps not.
Mr. Davy, you know the squire. Could you persuade him to go easy on Jem when the time comes?
And if he was guilty of other things along with his brother, would you still seek to save him?
I didn't ask for this. I planned to take my aunt away and see justice done, and then, when it was all over, to find work on a farm somewhere, live a land's life like I used to. But now I can't look ahead anymore. I don't want to feel like this, Mr. Davy.
Come now, dry your eyes. You'll forget your friend with his stolen pony very soon.
You think me foolish.
Only young.
Mr. Davy, Have you heard of wreckers?
I've heard wild tales.
This isn't gossip. My uncle is one of them.
How do you know this?
He told me so himself.
And your aunt? Is she party to this?
She lives in mortal terror of his discovery.
Driver, drop me off at the turning to Altonham, and then take this young woman to Jamaica Inn. Tell me, am I the only man you've honoured with your confidence?
Jem Merlin knows.
Because he's involved. I'm sorry, but there will always be the doubt, won't there? Listen to me. The false lights have flickered for the last time, and there will be no more wrecks.
How do you know this?
I've come from a meeting in Launceston, where we were informed that come the new year, the coastal paths will be patrolled. Your aunt will sleep in peace, your uncle can drink himself to death, and as for you, you will ride south again and find a lover. Sleep well. Tomorrow is Christmas Day.
Mr. Davy, thank you.
3 miles more on the road to Jamaica. Sleep, for your troubles will soon be done. A shelter awaits you warm in the vicarage. This new year there'll be laughter and fun.
So you've chosen to come back again? Like a little whining bitch with your tail between your legs, have you?
Leave me alone.
What do you think you're doing on a hired carriage? Half naked with your hair down your back.
I've been to Launceston and stayed to inform against you. It's over.
What's this, Just? You said she was safe.
Get back, you fool! How can she inform against me when she knows nothing?
She said she didn't.
Look at her feet. She's never walked 11 miles to Launceston. She's been with a man somewhere down on the road, and he sent her back on wheels when he'd had enough of her. So you'd run to the law and have me swinging in like a cat.
Let her swing for you. She's family. Better yet, bring her with us.
All right then, you shall have your chance. You shall stand on the shore, Mary, and you shall watch for the dawn and the coming of the tide.
The carriage is full of men. My uncle beside me, his elbows sharp on my side. The smell of their bodies, of tobacco and stale drink. Their faces swim up in a sea of smoke. They're dragging me from the carriage. I smell salt in the air, rain on my hand. I can hear the thunder and crash, the roar of surf upon shingle. I don't remember then. It's dark. Sand on my cheek, voices far off. They've left me. I'm alone. I have to escape. I'm stumbling along the ditch, away from the sea. It's dark and my hair whips my eyes so I don't see him, crouched, waiting for me. Then he's on me with his broken teeth and lips inches from my face, crushing me. His hands are tearing at my skirt, forcing me.
Didn't think to see me. Thought I was down on the shore with the landlord baiting pots, didn't you? Old Harry was waiting.
I'm bringing my head up fast. I catch him, a blow to the chin, his teeth tap his tongue. He's squealing like a rabbit, his blood raining down on me. His fingers are in my eyes, gouging, his breath hot, sour on my face. His fingers clutching at me. I'm not going to die here. I'm kicking him again and again, a soft yielding like dough. And then I'm running. I can't see. The fog is rolling in and he's behind me somewhere. Any second his hand's on my throat. I don't know what to do. I'm crawling down. There's a gap in the mist. It's the shore. No, I've come too far. And there they are, spread out in a thin line like black crows against the white beach, waiting. It's so quiet. It's the sounds of the breaking and sea breaking in the rhythm on the shore.
What is it? What do you see?
A light. High on the cliffs, swinging, dipping and rising with the waves, searching through the mist. It's coming closer like a moth to a candle. 2 white eyes in darkness. Stop! Go back! It's hopeless. They can't hear me. I'm caught, hands across my mouth, bound, helpless. My voice comes back to me on the wind. And the nightfall of cries of shouting, groaning, timber and bone. And the sound of what? Of fear. The tide's rushing in and I'm going to drown too. No!
Witness, Mary. What do you see?
Madmen in the surf, tearing rings from broken fingers, picking the bodies clean, running to and fro like dogs, snapping, fighting over plunder.
Look at the colour upon the water.
No more!
And the cliffs. You can see them now. Look, Mary. It's dawn.
Dawn. Is it over?
The world is waking up. The milk churns roll and the church bells ring. The dawn of Christmas Day. And on the shore the plunder stops as the darkness rolls away. The rent of a nail, the snarl of the teeth, the gunshot of the firing wild, the stagger of spoils dropping in the sand, the screams of wounded smile, the slice of the flint, the ooze of an eye as they fight to leave the beach, the crunch of a wheel on a wrecker's chest as life spins out of reach, the sip of blood on the wooden cart, the thud of the head on the stone, the curse of the dead floating up on the sand as the murderers run for home.
There, my pet. It's over now. All over.
How long have I lain here?
2 days. Your poor body was bleeding and broken. I bathed you while you were still unconscious. I thought at first I'd injured you terribly. But thank the dear God, no real harm has come to you.
No harm.
Your bruises will heal, and your long sleep has rested you.
You know who did it, don't you? You know where they took me.
What are you going to do?
I have business of my own.
Your uncle won't let you leave the inn.
I'm not afraid of him.
You don't understand. This time, he'll kill you. Don't do anything, I beg you.
Men were murdered by him on the shore. I can see nothing else.
I thought I heard voices in the yard. Did you hear anything from here? He'll come now. I've cut my own throat. He warned me once and I didn't listen.
Didn't listen to who?
I wanted to play the game on my own. We're as good as dead. All 3 of us sitting here. Why did you let me drink?
Who are you afraid of?
There's no escape for you either, Mary Yellan. You're in it now as much as Patience there. We have enemies on either side of us now. We have the law on one hand, and on the other...
Who?
You'd like to know, wouldn't you? See, you could sneak out of the house with the name on your lips and betray me. I don't blame you. But remember, I've not let any of them spoil your face. I could have done.
What are we going to do?
Harry's loyal enough, but the rest will be scattered over the countryside, whining like cars.
The trap's in the stable. We could be in Launceston and across to Devon in a few hours.
By now the whole country knows what happened on the coast on Christmas Eve. And if they see us boating, they'll have the proof.
If they catch us, they'll kill you without trial. What is it?
Shut up! You damn fool, Harry. Do you want a bullet in your guts? Don't lean there like a ghost, Melly. Bolt the door after him. Well, have you bought the news?
The old country's gone up in smoke, rigging with it. Hot, mad for blood and justice. There'll be what end to this storm, Joss. We've got to run for it. The roads are teeming.
Not tomorrow, he won't be. Being Sunday, they'll all be on their knees.
We have to go now.
Tomorrow at nightfall, and there's an end of it.
I'm not saying it was your fault getting us all mad drunk, but nevertheless, I've come here today as a friend risking my neck to give you a warning. It's just you and me now, Joss.
And?
I don't see the point of quitting empty-handed. There's a mint of stuff we dumped in the room yonder. It'll take 2 men to shift it. What against you and I striking a bargain?
And supposing I've disposed of the stuff already. It's been 2 days, Harry boy.
Do you play a double game, Joss Merlin? Because I've heard things. That you've made a brilliant job of this trade. Brilliant, some of us thought. Do you take orders from above?
I'm the leader in this game. I always have been. You didn't think to find me here, did you? The inn was barred and your little mean heart rejoiced. You think I didn't notice your surprise when you saw me?
No, I just...
You're in luck. I can't load alone. Tomorrow night we'll take the road to Devon. Meantime, you shall spend tonight locked in the storeroom. Go on. Your hands have been itching to count the plunder. Tonight's your chance.
And yours, Mary, to escape to Alton for help.
Get to your bed.
She's had no supper, Joss.
Starvation is good for women and beasts. It brings them to heel. Wait, Mary. You'll sleep sounder still if I turn the key on you.
Jos!
Haven't you learned by now not to question me?
Jem,
Come down to the door here and bolt it for me.
I'm locked in my room.
Fetch me the blanket from your bed.
Remember who he is? One Sir Merlin.
I owe you an apology.
What for?
I deserted you without an excuse on Christmas Eve.
I was worried what had become of you.
I can't tell you that. I'm sorry.
Your business is your own.
Are you locked in here?
My uncle fears I should stumble upon his secrets. To ask why you're here tonight should be an intrusion too, I suppose.
Be as bitter as you like. I know what you think of me.
No, you don't.
Be a man for a moment, will you? And send your hurt pride to hell. Where's my brother?
He said he'd spend the night in the kitchen with his gun. He's afraid.
He'll be more frightened still before long. I came to see him. But if he sits there with a gun, I'll wait till tomorrow when the shadows are gone.
He intends to leave here at nightfall.
Are you telling me the truth?
You best take care when you see your brother.
I'm not afraid of Joss.
Or if he is afraid of you.
Who did this?
I got them Christmas Eve.
You were there with them, on the shore. Sweet Jesus, I might have spared you this. Why in God's name did you go with them?
I had no choice. They barred me and tied so I can go over my mouth so I couldn't scream. I saw the ship come through the mist. I could do nothing. I had to watch them die.
You'll die for this.
That would bring back the men he killed.
I'm not thinking of them.
I can revenge myself in my own way.
What do you intend to do?
He expects me to go with him, and on patience.
And will you?
I can stand up against your brother. I'm in no danger from him now, but I don't want you to come here tomorrow. Go away from the moors and Jamaica Inn. Can't say more. Just trust me.
It's you who won't trust me. Play your own games by yourself then. If you must be a boy, I can't stop you. But keep away from danger.
It's getting late.
I'm going. Tell me though, would you mind if you never saw me again?
You don't understand. Why wouldn't he say what he was doing?
I don't know.
Anyway, all that matters now is to get Aunt Patience away from here. Tomorrow afternoon I'll make some excuse to rest in my room. Climb out and run like a hare to Alton.
It'll take too long.
If I leave at 4 and the light is failing, I can be there in an hour. And this time, Miss David must do something.
And on Patience?
If I return by 6, please God and Miss, I'll be here for nightfall. Just travel beside her. After that, our fate's in the hands of Mr. Davy.
I don't know what to take and what to leave. Perhaps just the one candlestick.
We'll need provisions, Aunt. Why don't you pack a basket for the journey?
Basket, yes. And my shawl. I'll need my shawl.
When tonight do you intend for us to leave, Uncle?
When I'm ready.
If we are to travel tonight, it would not be sensible if my aunt and I rested now. We'll get no sleep on the road.
Go on then. Anything to stop her noise.
Mary, there's no sound from the storeroom.
Can't think about that now. Come, we must rest. We've a long night ahead.
Imagine leaving Jamaica Inn. Is this a new beginning?
Whatever happens, happens. I'll take care of you, I promise.
And I have the candlestick, well wrapped against the cold.
I must speak with Mr. Bassett.
He's not home.
If I don't see him within an hour, a great criminal will escape.
He's left Launceston this morning in a great hurry.
I've come a great way and I'm not lying. No, it's not the horses.
Down, Wolf! Down, Sabre! They're just playing. They wouldn't hurt a fly. Not the children.
None of your household, man. I must speak with you alone.
Very well. Thank you. Please sit down. You look pale and exhausted.
I went to the vicarage, but there was no one there. I left a note and came here instead. When is Mr. Bassett due home?
I've absolutely no idea. Though I must confess, I'm concerned about him. If this dreadful innkeeper fellow shows fight, Mr. Bassett may be wounded, and in spite of the soldiers.
What do you mean?
You're obviously not from Norfield, or you would have heard of this man Merlin. My husband has suspected him of terrible crimes for some time, but it was only this morning that proof came to his hands.
Proof?
I don't know what, but I do know he is very well armed, and he intends to surround the inn tonight and seize the inhabitants.
I've done a very senseless thing in coming here. I thought to warn the squire that my uncle.
Your uncle? Why, you're the girl he spoke about, the girl from the inn. Don't move, or I'll summon the servants.
There's no need.
I've no money here.
I won't hurt you.
If you've come to plead for your uncle, it's too late.
Please listen to me. I have proof of his guilt. He intends to leave the inn tonight.
What trick is this? Why would you betray him now?
I wanted to protect my aunt.
And now?
She won't desert him. His safety lies with his capture. I thought I was clever to come here. And now I see you discover my room empty and guess at once that I betrayed him. He'll leave Jamaica Inn before Mr. Bassett arrives.
What would you have me do?
You believe me?
I believe you've been very brave to come here all those lonely miles. I would have gone mad with fear. I'm sorry I misjudged you. What can I do to help?
There's nothing we can do. I must wait here, I suppose, until Mr. Bassett returns and confess how I've blundered.
I'll soothe him down. Now, won't you rest yourself and forget the time, this whole hateful business? You must be famished.
Thank you, but I'm not that hungry.
What about a brandy for the shock?
No, thank you.
You're sure?
Quite sure.
Would you like to look at my watercolours? I have very little talent, but it would pass the time.
Forgive me. You've been very kind, but I'm desperately anxious about my aunt. I'll walk back there now.
You can't possibly do that.
I promised to take care of her. I can't leave her to suffer alone.
Richard will go with you in the trap.
I assure you I can walk.
This way will be much quicker.
Then thank you. I accept.
Richard, harness the trap and take this young lady to Jamaica Inn. Make sure you're well armed and with at least 2 pistols, and make sure that anyone fires up the trap is threatened.
Give me a pistol if you hear a shot fired coming after me, for I believe my uncle is gone. Wait here.
Something's wrong.
The clock. It stopped ticking.
There's a spider crawling on his hand. Who else is there?
He's dead.
Where's Aunt Patience?
The peddler. He must have broken out from the storeroom.
She'd never have left him.
No, she'd be with him now.
Surround the building. Make sure no one gets away. The devil are you doing here?
The landlord has been stabbed to death, sir. Came to warn you. It was the peddler. He was in the storeroom.
Search it. Just Merlin murdered, eh? I was hoping to clap my hands on him. Haven't I had the dealings of you before? You're the niece, yes?
Yes, sir. Mary Yellan.
You lied to me back then.
To save my aunt. Whatever I said to you then was for her sake only. I'll explain everything in a court of law if you wish, but please, search for her now.
Lives could have been saved if you told me the truth before.
I know that now.
What do you know of this peddler fellow?
He was one of the company on the shore. He came to the inn last night and quarrelled with my uncle, who locked him up and threatened him with death. He had every reason to kill my uncle.
How did my soldiers get into him?
They broke the door from the outside. He could have climbed in from the window. It was also barred from the outside.
There would appear he's no use even as a witness. Lock him in the stables. I'll deal with him later.
Please, sir, could you search up there for my aunt?
The gypsy said there was blood on his hand.
Jem would kill his own brother.
He said he would.
I wish now I'd stayed and killed me too.
You only have to go to the squire and say, I know who this is and what he has done. And they'd listen to you. They would crowd around you like a pack of hounds panting for the chase, and the trail would lead them to him. You only have to say the word.
No.
She was lying just inside the bedroom at the end of the passage. Stabbed like your uncle. She could have known nothing. I'm very sorry. I would have spared you this.
Oh, poor Patience.
Is it your heart beating, or the steady clock of the horse approaching? The beat is loud as he climbs the hill towards Jamaica Inn, the sound echoing across the still air like a challenge to the night.
In the name of the king, I must ask your business here tonight.
I'm Francis Davy, Vicar of Altonan. I've come because Mary asked for my help in terrible trouble.
And you're too late. I dreamt Aunt Patience was still alive. Brother surprised me like a cold knife every morning.
Was she the only person in your dreams?
I'm not listening. Look at these pictures the vicar has painted. So many.
One word to him, a message to the squire, and our patience will be avenged. Jem will hang, and you can return to Helford.
Enough! Soon the housekeeper will bring tea and scones, and Mr. Davy will return from his parish work, and life will continue. Jamaica Inn is not a part of me now.
What has happened has happened.
Not a dark view of the worst he has.
Listen to the whisper of the wind. It plays upon the air like a chorus from the dead, and there is a wild lost note high on the very peak of Rufter, as though the gods themselves stand there, with their great heads lifted to the sky. See the stones turning to men beside you, their faces carved and rugged like the granite, their hands and feet curved like the claws of a bird.
What is it? What do you see?
Don't know. Just a drawing, that's all.
Forgive me. You didn't expect me so soon, and I blundered into your dreams.
No, I'm fine.
How have you spent the day?
Just resting.
Whereas I, since 10 a.m., have been in the company of Squire Bassett.
Does Mr. Bassett suspect anyone?
Everyone.
And the peddler? They haven't let him go.
No, he's been most helpful. In fact, he suggested that the landlord of Jamaica Inn was their leader in name only, and took his orders from one above, in which case it would seem that the unknown leader and the murderer must be one and the same person.
It's possible.
Did you ever see such a person at Jamaica Inn?
No, never.
He must have gone to and fro in stealth, while you and your aunt were asleep, so quietly.
I suppose so.
In which case, the man must know the Moors intimately. Did I tell you I saw an acquaintance of yours today? Jem Yellan.
I believed him to be away.
No, he has been in the district since Christmas. He gave me a message for you. Tell her how sorry I am. I presume he referred to your aunt.
Is that all he said?
I believe he would have said more, but Mr. Bassett interrupted us.
Did Mr. Bassett and the gentleman question him?
Indeed. He appears to have a far better brain than his brother ever had.
What will they do to Mr. Davy?
They'll hardly throw old sins in his face after the service he's done them.
What?
Your mind works slowly tonight, Mary Yellan. Didn't you know that it was Jem Yellan who informed against his brother?
Jem did?
It appears the squire himself fell in with your friend at Launceston on Christmas Eve, offered him a deal. Jail for stealing his horse, or proof against the landlord.
Oh, Mr. Davy, was he at North Hill when you left?
He was. In fact, it was his last remark that hurried me home.
Why?
He announced his intention of riding over tonight to visit the blacksmith at Warlagan.
What's it to you if he visits the blacksmith?
He will show him the nail he picked up in the heather below Jamaica Inn. The nail was a new one, and Jem Yellan, being a stealer of horses, knows the work of every blacksmith on the moors.
Well, what then?
No blacksmith works on a Sunday unless he has great respect for his customer. Only one traveller passed Tom Jory's smithy yesterday and begged a new nail for his lame horse.
How do you know this?
Because the traveller was the vicar of Altonan. Come, Mary Yellan, the truth. You lost your confidence in me before I came home today. You were looking through my pictures.
No,
Don't shrink from me. We can be frank with one another now, you and I. You said to yourself, what manner of a man is the vicar of Altonan? That he draws his congregation like sheep. The man is a freak of nature. Give me your hands.
I never thought that.
But you're right. I am out of place and out of time. But we can talk of these things later when pursuit is not upon us.
I'm not coming with you.
A poor white ferret looks frail enough, but your uncle knew my strength. I don't want to hurt you, Mary Yellan, but I shall if you withstand me. The choice is yours.
You'll find me no companion on your road.
Who spoke of roads? We go by the moors and the hills, as the Druids did before us. I wouldn't. Before they stumbled from their doors, you would be lying on your face, with the long wet grass for a pillow. I shall lead you. You should have heard me preach. They sat there with their mouths agape and their souls asleep, never knowing that beneath them lay the bones of their pagan ancestors, and the old granite altars where sacrifice was held long before Christ died upon his cross.
You despise them so deeply.
They couldn't see the true gods all around them, but I could. They believed what I told them.
Where are we bound?
As far away as possible. By the time we get there, you'll have forgotten.
That you killed my aunt.
Yes, and more besides. I've heard confessions in my day, listened in darkness deeper than that which covers us now. I know the dreams of women. Are you afraid, Mary Yellan?
No.
You should be. The horses are. Feel them uncertain of their steps, the ground soggy and treacherous. Go on. Walk on. The gods have gone against me after all. Damn them. This fog won't lift for hours. We must make for the high ground.
Where are we?
Rufta, this is the old kingdom, and dawn the time of sacrifice. I have to do this, Mary, for both our sakes. Are you ready? I'd forgotten that the Squire of North Hill kept bloodhounds in his kennels. The hounds have come as I saw them in my dreams. Save yourself, Mary, if you can.
Where to now, Mary?
I want to go home.
There's a home for you here at North Hill, you know that. You're too young to live alone.
I won't be alone at Helford. I was born there.
Heard a rumour you were to settle as companion to Mrs. Bassett.
I want to go home back to Helford.
I have a fancy for the Midlands. For certain I'll never come west again. Not until I've forgotten a lot of things. Come with me.
You'd be happy here. There's children, and there's letters to write, flowers to cut for the house.
We don't belong to their class. Neither do I.
I know that. And I'm going back to Helford because of it. I'm homesick. I want to smell the river again and walk in my own country.
Go on then. There's the road back.
I'll come visit you if you go south.
Yes, but I'm bound north.
Goodbye then.
When you're an old farmer's wife down at Helford, you'll remember that. You stole horses, you'll say to yourself. You didn't care for women except one. And but for my pride, I'd be with him now.
It's not pride. You know that it's not pride. There's a sickness in my heart for home and all the things I've lost. Wait. Give me your hand.
You've got your back to Helford. You know that?
Yes, I know.
If you come with me, life will be hard, wild, and small prospects of peace you crave.
Now take the risk.
You love me, Mary Yellan.
I believe so.
Better than Helford?
Can't ever answer that.
Why are you sitting with me then?
Because I want to. Because I must. Because now and forevermore this is where I long to be.
Mary,
What?
take the reins.